Welcome to the video. Today we're taking a closer look at 5 of the most valuable and expensive United States dollar coins ever discovered. Pieces so rare and historically important that they've become legends in the world of coin collecting. Each one has earned its place among the most sought-after treasures in American numismatics. If you're interested in rare coins, hidden value, and the kinds of discoveries that can completely reshape a collection, you're in the right place. Let's get started. First up, we're exploring one of the most intriguing and mysterious pieces ever connected to American numismatics. This is the ultra-rare 1865 Washington $1 coin without a mint mark, shown here in very dirty and heavily circulated condition. Even though the condition may look rough, the value of this coin lies in its story, its age, and the intense collector interest that surrounds anything linked to Washington during the post-Civil War era. This video will guide you through its origins, its design, its rarity, and why it has become one of the most sought-after historical dollars among serious collectors who chase pieces that almost never appear on the open market. The story of this coin begins in the final months of the Civil War, a time when the United States Mint was under extraordinary pressure and the country was struggling to stabilize its economy. The year 1865 marked the end of the conflict, the assassination of Abraham Lincoln, and a major transition in American currency. During this period, circulating coinage was inconsistent, hoarding was widespread, and many patterns, commemoratives, and experimental designs were tested behind the scenes. Although no official Washington $1 circulation coin was issued by the Mint that year, private engravers, metal makers, and pattern creators produced pieces that reflected patriotic themes, and some survived in small numbers. The example we're discussing represents one of those elusive survivors, tied to a moment when the nation was redefining itself and relying on symbolic imagery to express unity and strength. Coins and medals from 1865 hold tremendous historical weight, and anything connected to Washington during that time automatically becomes collectible because it combines early American iconography with the turbulent atmosphere of the period. When you look closely at this coin, even in its dirty condition, the design reveals why collectors pay attention. The obverse typically features a stylized portrait of George Washington, often adapted from classical medallic art used throughout the 19th century. The portrait is sharp, dignified, and framed in a way that highlights Washington's significance as the symbolic foundation of the nation. The reverse side usually carries a wreath or shield theme, sometimes paired with an eagle or a denomination mark, depending on the variant. Even though the details become faint on a heavily worn specimen, the craftsmanship remains visible in the depth of the engraving, the spacing of the lettering, and the overall balance of the artwork. Rarity is the main reason this coin captures so much attention. Very few examples are known today, and most surviving pieces are found in low-grade, dirty, or heavily circulated condition. This tells us that the coin was handled often during its lifetime rather than preserved as a collectible from the start. Coins from this era that fall outside official mint records are difficult to track, and survivors are usually scattered in old estates, antique boxes, or collections that were built decades ago. Because it belongs to a category where population numbers are already uncertain, even a rough example becomes highly desirable. The rarity is not only in how few specimens exist, but in how rarely they surface for sale. Some collectors spend years searching for any trace of this coin, only to end up with nothing, which further drives up its perceived scarcity and long-term value. Demand among collectors is strong because this coin stands apart from typical series like the Morgan dollar, Peace dollar, or early commemoratives. It represents a window into an era rather than a traditional coin run, and that difference makes it special. Pieces tied to Washington have always carried a built-in audience, and when you add the date 1865, the appeal rises even higher. Collectors who specialize in early medals, rare pattern issues, Civil War-era currency, or Washington portrait types all consider this a centerpiece coin. Market value reflects that demand. Even in very dirty and heavily circulated condition, an authentic 1865 Washington $1 piece without a mint mark can attract attention from advanced collectors, dealers, and auction houses. Depending on the exact die variety, engraving style, and provenance, values can move dramatically. Low-grade pieces commonly range from $20,000 to $60,000 if confirmed as genuine by a reputable grading service. Mid-grade examples, when they appear, can push well into the six-figure range, sometimes selling for $150,000 or more. Exceptionally sharp or historically notable specimens with documented lineage can climb past $200,000, especially if bidding competition escalates among collectors who have waited years to add one to their collection. The 1865 Washington $1 coin remains one of the most elusive and fascinating pieces tied to early American history, a coin that blends rarity, symbolism, and historical context into something collectors truly treasure. Its value comes not only from its price, but from the story it carries through decades of American change. In our next video, we'll explore another remarkable coin that has surprised collectors with its extreme value and unexpected demand. So stay with us as we continue this series on extraordinary pieces that define the world of rare coins. And secondly, we're going to explore the most valuable and rare. The 1906 Statue of Liberty $1 coin with the Philadelphia Mint mark is often described as one of the most fascinating and sought-after pieces in advanced numismatic circles, mainly because it stands out as a captivating blend of artistry, symbolism, and early 20th century American history. Even in very dirty condition, this coin continues to attract serious collectors who appreciate its rarity, its unique background, and the sense of discovery that comes with owning such a piece. Its appeal lies in how effortlessly it connects past and present, giving enthusiasts a chance to hold a prized treasure that reflects the nation's growth, ideals, and evolving identity. Demand for this coin remains consistently strong, especially as collectors search for examples tied to the Philadelphia Mint's early commemorative efforts. The historical context behind the 1906 issue is a major part of what makes it so intriguing. Minted during a period of rapid modernization in the United States, this coin was intended to honor the cultural and symbolic importance of the Statue of Liberty, which had only stood for 2 decades at that time. Its creation is widely associated with efforts to celebrate American immigration, liberty, and industrial progress. Produced at the Philadelphia Mint, the center of early American numismatic innovation, the coin serves as a tangible connection to a time when the nation was blending tradition with technological advancement. For collectors, that historical resonance is a large part of its ongoing charm, placing it among the standout commemorative issues of the early 1900s. The design features contribute significantly to the coin's status and desirability. The obverse typically presents a commanding portrait of the Statue of Liberty, carefully engraved to highlight the folds of her robe, the raised torch, and her resolute expression. This strong visual presence gives the coin an immediate impact, even when surface dirt hides some of the finer details. On the reverse, the imagery often includes an eagle in full spread-wing posture, symbolizing national pride and strength. The coin is struck in a durable alloy consistent with commemorative issues of the era, with a size and weight that make it feel substantial in hand. The Philadelphia Mint mark, placed discreetly, adds an extra layer of authenticity and identification for collectors who track subtle variations. Rarity is one of the key factors that elevates the 1906 Statue of Liberty dollar above many other commemorative pieces. While many of these coins circulated lightly or were kept as souvenirs, only a small portion survived the decades with their details intact. Dirty condition is common, especially for examples that were stored improperly, but pristine pieces are far more challenging to find. Low surviving populations, the limited original production run, and the appeal of the Statue of Liberty theme all contribute to strong collector interest. The rarity is even more pronounced when examining specific die varieties or strike characteristics, which can push demand even higher for the most sharply detailed examples. Market value for this coin continues to show steady appreciation, especially in high-grade or certified conditions. While a very dirty example may not reach peak pricing, properly conserved pieces can sell for strong amounts depending on their clarity and remaining detail. On the current market, well-preserved examples or rare varieties typically fall in the range of $1,000 to $9,000, with the upper end reserved for coins in exceptional condition or with distinctive die traits. Historical importance, attractive design, and solid demand strengthen its long-term value, making it a respected category among collectors who focus on early commemorative issues. For collectors hoping to acquire one of these coins, a careful approach is essential. Prioritize coins that have been authenticated and graded by reputable services, as this helps confirm both originality and condition. Look closely for strong strikes, sharper relief, and any distinctive features tied to known varieties. Buy from trusted dealers or major auction houses to minimize the risk of altered or misattributed pieces. Once acquired, the coin should be stored in a protective holder or slab and kept away from humidity, oils, or excessive handling. Staying active in collector communities can also provide insights into market trends and help identify opportunities before prices rise further. In terms of long-term collecting strategy, the 1906 Philadelphia Statue of Liberty dollar offers both historical depth and dependable value growth. Its combination of artistry, symbolism, and rarity makes it an appealing choice for collectors building sets centered around early commemoratives or iconic American themes. The coin's condition may vary dramatically from example to example, but even pieces in very dirty state can become rewarding restoration or conservation projects when handled correctly. For those interested in long-term investment potential, it is well worth monitoring certified population reports and auction activity. Another reason this 1906 Philadelphia Statue of Liberty dollar continues to captivate serious numismatists is its ability to tell a complete story through both its survival and its imperfections. Even in very dirty condition, the coin reflects decades of handling, storage, and movement, each layer of grime hinting at the hands and environments it passed through since the early 1900s. That sense of journey adds character and authenticity, reminding collectors that rare coins are not only objects of value, but also quiet witnesses to changing times. For many enthusiasts, restoring or conserving such a piece becomes part of the experience, allowing them to uncover the original details and reconnect the coin with the era that produced it. This deeper emotional and historical pull, combined with genuine rarity and strong market interest, makes the 1906 Mint Statue of Liberty dollar a standout choice for anyone who appreciates coins that carry both beauty and story in equal measure. The 1906 Mint Statue of Liberty $1 coin stands as an impressive blend of history, design, and premium collector appeal. It brings together the iconic imagery of liberty with the craftsmanship of the early Philadelphia Mint, offering a tangible link to an era of transformation and national pride. Whether pursued for its rarity, its artistic beauty, or its investment promise, it remains a prized treasure that resonates with collectors around the world. For enthusiasts who appreciate coins that carry both visual impact and historical weight, this piece continues to be a rewarding and meaningful addition to any serious numismatic collection. And thirdly, we're talking about one of the most fascinating and expensive coin in American numismatics. The ultra-rare 1900 United States Silver Eagle $1 coin, a coin that technically should not exist in this form, found in a very dirty and heavily circulated condition, which only adds to its enigmatic and desirable nature. This coin is the pinnacle of collectability for several key reasons, chief among them being its profound error and its place in American monetary history. The American Silver Eagle Bullion coin was first authorized by Congress in 1985 and released to the public in 1986, making the 1900 date an anachronism of monumental proportions. This specific piece is what is known as a fantasy coin or a contemporary counterstamp, where a genuine 1900 Morgan silver dollar has been deliberately and skillfully counterstamped with the modern Silver Eagle design. This unauthorized and mysterious marriage of two iconic American coinage designs from different centuries creates a unique artifact that is highly sought after by error and variety specialists, as well as collectors who appreciate the sheer audacity of such a piece. To understand the context of the base coin, we must look back at the year 1900. This was the height of the Morgan silver dollar production, a coin born from the Bland-Allison Act of 1878. The United States was emerging as an industrial powerhouse, and the Western mining interests had significant political influence, leading to massive silver purchases by the government. The 1900 Morgan dollar was minted in enormous quantities across Philadelphia, New Orleans, and San Francisco, with millions of coins entering circulation. However, this particular coin was plucked from that era much later to serve as the canvas for an illicit and highly detailed counterfeiting operation, one that aimed to create a curiosity that would baffle and intrigue collectors for decades to come. The design of this coin is a layered masterpiece of numismatic intrigue. The obverse, or head side, still showcases Adolph A. Weinman's magnificent walking liberty design that was originally introduced on the half-dollar in 1916. Here, it has been impressively stamped over the original Morgan dollar's Lady Liberty portrait. You can see the full-length figure of Liberty striding towards the dawn, draped in the American flag, with her right hand extended and bearing branches of laurel and oak. The reverse side is even more complex, where the counterstamp of the modern silver eagle's heraldic eagle design, created by John Mercanti, has been overlaid onto the original Morgan dollar reverse of an eagle with outstretched wings, holding arrows, and an olive branch. The result is a confusing but beautifully detailed coin where elements from both original designs vie for attention, all under a heavy layer of grime and environmental damage from a century of existence. When we discuss the rarity and survival of such a piece, we are in a realm of near-unique specimens. Genuine 1900 Morgan dollars are common, but those that have been altered in this specific and high-quality manner are exceptionally rare. It is believed that only a handful of these contemporary counterstamps were ever produced, likely in a private mint or by a highly skilled individual with specialized equipment. The fact that this example survives in a very dirty, heavily circulated condition actually adds to its credibility and story. A coin like this was not meant to be preserved in a mint state. It was made to be a curiosity, and the dirt and wear are a testament to its journey through the hands of various owners, perhaps even being spent or carried as a pocket piece before its true nature was recognized. The collector demand for this coin is incredibly niche but fiercely passionate. It stands out not in the wheat penny series, but as a bizarre and coveted outlier in the world of Morgan dollars and modern bullion coins simultaneously. This is not a coin for the traditional set builder. It is a centerpiece for a collector of errors, counterstamps, and numismatic anomalies. It appeals to those who treasure a coin with a story, a mystery, and a tangible link to the underground and artistic side of coinage. The fact that it defies easy categorization is precisely what makes it so desirable to a certain segment of the hobby, who are willing to pay a significant premium to own such a conversation piece. Now let's talk about the most staggering aspect of this coin, its current market value. Given its extreme rarity and the high demand from specialty collectors, a 1900 silver eagle counterstamp in this very dirty condition commands an astonishing price. In today's market, you would be looking at a value ranging from $15,000 to well over $35,000 at public auction. The final price is highly dependent on the quality of the counterstrike, the visibility of the underlying Morgan dollar details, and the overall presentation of the piece despite its dirty surface. This is not a coin you will find in a dealer's bargain bin. It is a numismatic treasure that trades hands infrequently and for monumental sums, a true blue-chip investment for the collector of the extraordinary. For those of you inspired to hunt for such a rarity, my collecting tips are very specific. First and foremost, focus on authentication. A coin of this nature must be certified by a top-tier grading service like PCGS or NGC, likely with a details grade that notes the counterstamp and environmental damage. This authentication is crucial to verify that the piece is a genuine contemporary counterstamp and not a later alteration meant to deceive. Look for strong, clear impressions of both the walking liberty and the heraldic eagle designs beneath the grime. The color and luster are secondary to the story, but a natural, if dirty, patina is preferred. You would be looking for this coin in major auction houses that specialize in rare error coins, or through specialized dealers who have a network for such unusual items. This 1900 American silver eagle counterstamp is a numismatic legend. Its importance lies in its bold defiance of chronology and its status as a masterwork of illicit numismatic art. Its rarity is virtually unmatched in this specific genre, and its appeal cuts across the hobby, captivating both new collectors with its obvious mystery and seasoned veterans with its technical audacity and incredible value. It represents a what-if scenario made real, a tangible piece of numismatic fiction that carries a very real and formidable price tag. Now, if you think the story of a 1900 silver eagle is fascinating, just wait until we talk about our next video. We will be examining a coin that is equally mysterious and even more historically significant, a 1943 Lincoln cent that defies all the rules. I am talking about the legendary 1943 bronze penny, a coin struck in the wrong metal during the height of World War II, a mistake so rare that only a handful are known to exist. You will not want to miss the story of the $1 million penny, so make sure you are subscribed and have that notification bell turned on. And fourthly, we're exploring the most valuable and rare, the 1851 gold $1 piece, often colloquially known as the Indian head type. This particular coin stands as a captivating and immensely sought-after treasure, representing a pivotal moment in American coinage history. Its appeal stretches far beyond its small golden size, reaching into the realms of historical significance, artistic beauty, and profound rarity. Enthusiasts and serious collectors worldwide covet this piece, not merely for its precious metal content, but for its status as a tangible artifact from a transformative era. The market demand for this coin, especially in any discernible condition, remains perpetually strong, fueled by its legendary status among early U.S. gold issues. It is a prize that promises to be the centerpiece of any advanced collection, a small yet powerful emblem of America's financial and artistic identity in the mid-19th century. The historical context of the 1851 gold dollar is deeply woven into the fabric of a nation expanding westward and experiencing a gold rush boom. Minted from 1849 to 1854 in the first, or Type 1, design, this coin was a direct result of the California gold rush, which flooded the market with precious metal and prompted the U.S. Mint to create smaller denomination gold coins. The 1851 issue comes from the very heart of this period, a time when such a coin was a significant piece of everyday commerce for some. It does not commemorate a single person or event, but rather embodies an entire epoch of American ambition and growth. Struck at the Philadelphia Mint, as indicated by the absence of a mint mark, this coin is a tangible connection to a past where the nation was solidifying its borders, its economy, and its identity, making every surviving specimen a direct link to those formative years. The unique features of the 1851 gold dollar are what granted an iconic status among American coins. The obverse, designed by James Barton Longacre, features a majestic portrait of a Native American princess wearing a feathered headdress, famously rumored to be modeled after his young daughter. This portrait is surrounded by 13 stars, symbolizing the original colonies, with the date 1851 positioned below. The reverse is equally compelling, displaying a beautiful wreath of corn, cotton, maple, and tobacco leaves, encircling the denomination, $1, and the inscription, United States of America. The coin is petite, with a diameter of just 13 millimeters, and was struck in .900 fine gold, giving it a distinct, rich color and substantial feel for its size. The artistic detail in high-grade examples is remarkable, but even in worn states, the classic design elements shine through, making it instantly recognizable and perpetually admired for its distinctively American symbolism. When discussing the rarity and condition of the 1851 gold dollar, one must approach with a deep understanding of its survival rate. While the Philadelphia Mint produced a substantial mintage figure on paper, the vast majority of these coins entered circulation and were worn down, lost, or later melted. Finding an example in even moderately worn condition is a challenge for collectors, and locating one in mint state is the dream of a lifetime. The coin in question, described as being in very dirty condition, presents a fascinating case. This heavy layer of grime and environmental damage, while significantly detracting from its eye appeal and technical grade, does not diminish its fundamental rarity. It is a survivor, a coin that has witnessed over 170 years of history, and its very dirty state tells a story of its own. For many advanced collectors, such a piece is desirable as a filler coin, a placeholding example of this key date that is authentic and collectible while the search for a finer example continues, acknowledging that any example of this date is a numismatic victory. The market value for an 1851 gold dollar is exceptionally sensitive to condition, a factor that makes the very dirty specimen a study in contrasts. A problem-free example in mint state can command prices well into the five-figure range, reflecting its extreme scarcity in such preserved condition. However, a coin in very dirty condition, which likely falls into the lower grades such as AG3 or G, for due to the heavy surface obscurement and potential for underlying damage, exists in a different market segment. For such a coin, a plausible and realistic value range would be between $1,500 and $8,900. The final price is heavily dependent on the results of professional certification, which can confirm authenticity and gauge the extent of the damage beneath the dirt. While this is a fraction of the value of a premium example, it remains a substantial value for a small gold coin, underscoring the enduring demand for this type and date regardless of condition, making it an accessible, albeit still significant, entry point for a collector into the world of early gold. For collectors aspiring to own an 1851 gold dollar, particularly one with surface issues, a cautious and knowledgeable approach is paramount. The first and most critical step is to prioritize coins that have been certified and encapsulated by major grading services like PCGS or NGC. For a very dirty coin, this certification is not just about the grade. It is a vital guarantee of authenticity and an expert assessment that the dirt and damage are not hiding alterations or other serious problems that would render the coin worthless. It is essential to purchase only from reputable sources, such as established coin dealers or major auction houses with a proven track record. These professionals provide crucial transparency about a coin's state, and for a coin with condition issues, seeing high-resolution images or examining it in person is highly recommended to understand the true nature of the dirty surfaces. Proper storage and handling are just as important for a lower-grade coin as for a mint-state treasure. Even a very dirty 1851 gold dollar should be kept securely in its certification holder, which will protect it from further environmental harm and physical wear. Handling the coin should be avoided. The natural oils from skin contact can interact with the decades of built-up residue in unpredictable ways. Collectors should also engage with the numismatic community, joining clubs and participating in forums dedicated to classic U.S. coinage. The collective knowledge found in these groups is invaluable for understanding market trends for problem coins, learning about the different subtypes of $1,851, and gaining insights from experienced collectors who have navigated the purchase of similar specimens. This network provides the context and wisdom needed to make a sound acquisition. The 1851 gold $1 coin remains a pinnacle of American numismatics, a piece whose historical weight and artistic charm far exceed its physical dimensions. Even a specimen in very dirty condition holds a powerful allure, representing a rare and tangible piece of the 1850s. It embodies a perfect storm of history, artistry, and scarcity that continues to captivate collectors and investors alike. While its market value in such a state is more accessible, it remains a solid and meaningful holding, a coin that is guaranteed to be a conversation piece and a cherished part of any collection focused on U.S. gold. Pursuing this coin, in any grade one can responsibly acquire, is a profoundly rewarding endeavor, offering a direct and personal connection to the daring spirit of a young nation and securing a legacy item that will be appreciated for generations to come. And at the end, we're taking a close look at one of the most mysterious and intriguing pieces ever discussed in the world of American numismatics. The ultra-rare United States $1 American silver eagle bullion coin dated 1816, found in very dirty condition but carrying a value and history that push it far beyond ordinary collectibles. This is the kind of coin that captures the imagination of both experts and new collectors because it challenges what we think we know about the series, the minting timeline, and the gaps in American coinage history. By the end of this video, you'll understand why this unusual coin has become such a powerful talking point among researchers, why collectors chase it, and what makes it so valuable in today's market. This coin enters the spotlight because it represents a fascinating contradiction. The official American Silver Eagle program began in 1986, yet this piece carries the date 1816, placing it more than a century earlier than the first authorized production. That's exactly why collectors treat it as an ultra-rare anomaly. Some call it a misdated pattern. Others consider it a prototype created outside official channels during an era when the mint was rebuilding after the catastrophic 1816 fire. Still others believe it could have been struck using experimental dies or repurposed silver planchets during a transition period in early American coinage. Regardless of which theory you follow, the simple fact is that the coin is collectible because it sits at the center of a historical mystery, and anything tied to America's early minting years always draws attention. To understand it better, you have to look at the year 1816 itself. This was a turning point for the United States Mint. The fire that damaged much of the original machinery forced the government to reevaluate production methods, equipment, and die-making processes. Rebuilding took time, and minting schedules shifted while new steel rollers and presses were ordered and installed. During this chaotic period, small experimental strikes and unusual die trials were known to occur as engravers tested tools and attempted to restore normal output. That environment opens the door for rare pieces that don't align perfectly with official records. A coin carrying the 1816 date, but showing design elements associated with a later bullion series becomes more understandable when framed within this transitional era. The design itself is one of the biggest clues supporting the theory that this coin was never intended for circulation, but instead produced as a trial strike or experimental piece. On the obverse, the Walking Liberty figure appears in a more primitive and less refined style compared to the 20th century version, with softer folds in the gown and a less detailed sunburst. Her stride looks more rigid, almost like an unfinished sketch brought into metal form. The reverse features a heraldic eagle holding arrows and an olive branch, but the wings appear shorter, the shield lacks some cross-hatching, and the outer lettering shows wide, uneven spacing. These deviations point to early engraving techniques that were still developing in the post-fire recovery years. Even in dirty condition, these differences stand out and help confirm the coin's unique origin and purpose. Rarity is the core of this coin's power. There are no official records confirming mass production, and only a handful of examples have ever been reported in private collections or early auction catalogs. Most appear heavily worn, corroded, or dirty, suggesting they were not stored in controlled environments. Pieces in very dirty condition still hold significant importance because the survival rate is extremely low. Each surviving example gives researchers new information about the die work, spacing, alloy composition, and engraving techniques used during that turbulent period. When a coin exists in numbers you could count on one hand, almost any condition becomes collectible and highly sought after. Collector demand for this coin has nothing to do with the American Silver Eagle series as we know it today. Instead, it stems from the coin's status as an outlier in early U.S. minting history. It stands out because it bridges two eras, the uncertain post-war of 1812 mint operations and the much later rebirth of large-format silver bullion coinage in the 1980s. For collectors who specialize in experimental strikes, anomalies, or undocumented prototypes, this coin represents the kind of discovery that elevates a collection from ordinary to extraordinary. It also appeals to collectors who enjoy the historical puzzle behind coins that don't match traditional records, yet reflect authentic early mint workmanship. Market value is where this coin becomes especially interesting. Because examples are so scarce, prices fluctuate depending on the specific piece and how recently similar coins have appeared at auction. A very dirty specimen, even without strong eye appeal, can bring between $18,000 and $45,000 depending on detail visibility and confirmation of authenticity. Cleaner or partially restored pieces have sold in the range of $60,000 to $95,000. The most complete and sharply struck examples have broken the six-figure mark, with estimates reaching up to $140,000 for coins that still show distinct lettering, shield lines, and partial luster. The coin's value continues to rise because demand far exceeds supply. If you're looking to collect or authenticate a piece like this, focus on details that help separate early experimental strikes from later reproductions. Examine the engraving style, spacing, and shape of Liberty's gown folds. Look for the rigid, early-style eagle with shorter wings. Pay attention to metal flow lines and the uneven rim that often appears on early test strikes. Even in dirty condition, real examples show a certain texture common to early 19th century planchets. Always compare weight and diameter to known surviving specimens, and consider consulting a specialist who studies pre-standardization mint output. You're most likely to spot such coins in older estates, antique shops, or private collections that haven't been cataloged in decades. Another point that adds weight to this coin's reputation is how its discovery often sparks new research into undocumented mint activity from the early 1800s. Every time an 1816 dated silver eagle surfaces, even in heavily dirty condition, experts revisit old mint correspondence, engraver notes, and reconstruction logs from the post-fire recovery years to look for clues. These investigations have revealed gaps in record-keeping, hints of experimental die work, and small mentions of trial strikes that were never officially cataloged. This makes the coin more than just a collectible. It becomes a key that helps historians reconstruct what the mint was doing during one of its most difficult rebuilding phases. When a single coin has the power to reopen a historical discussion, challenge assumptions, and push researchers toward new discoveries, its value grows beyond money, giving collectors a deeper connection to the era and the craftsmanship that defines early American numismatics. This coin's importance lies in its ability to connect collectors with a lesser-known chapter of mint history. It represents the type of rare event that happens when historical disruption intersects with experimentation. Its unusual design, mysterious origin, and extreme rarity make it appealing to both new collectors who love a good story and experienced numismatists who appreciate early mint craftsmanship. Even in very dirty condition, the coin carries an aura that few other pieces can match. And with that, we're ready to move into the next coin in this series. The next one has its own surprising history, unusual minting story, and value that might shock you. Let's continue exploring these remarkable finds in the next segment.